project is to fix the air conditioning that's out. I think the fan motor is the problem. So what it's doing is the compressor's turning on and the fan is not turning on, or it's rotating overly slow. And so the compressor's overheating, tripping the thermal overload switch and shutting it off. So we got a new motor here and we're going to demonstrate. That's our new motor. We're going to demonstrate what it's doing here. So you can see it turn on and then freak out. The wife turned this on in the house, so we've got our timer set. As you can see, maybe we've got, I'm trying to get that zoomed in for you here. We've got matching specs on the motors. Just looked this up. Bought this on eBay. This is a used motor. This was about $100, so not cheap, but that's better than Bryant because it's been about 93 degrees here. So just waiting for this to turn on. Something's not working here.
What?
Hey, did you turn it to cool?
I turned the fan on.
No, the fan has nothing to do with it. You got to turn it to cool.
Okay, now it's turned on.
Okay, so now I've got it on. You can hear the compressor running, but no fan. This is bad. Now watch. See that fan? It's kind of trying to go. When I blow on it, now it's under power. So we've got a shorted winding or something. And there it goes. But that's not right. So what we've got to do is take off this cover here with the fan attached, and then we're going to have to unplug it. And hopefully I don't have to tear off the whole outside of the unit, but if I do, it's just, you know, a few screws here. So you can kind of see it's not that big a deal, but your wiring goes down here into the spider webs. And then your refill ports here. So hopefully we're not low on refrigerant, but I kind of doubt it, given the fact that that fan is just trundling along like that. So I'm going to wait till this shuts off. It's struggling. And then when it does turn off, it won't turn itself back on, so you'd never be able to run this sustainably like that. So there it goes. Now listen to it when it kicks back on in a second here. It sounds like the compressor's having a seizure. You can tell the fan bearings are not seized up or anything like that. I hit this with some compressed air and just blew on the fan, and it stayed running. But as soon as I let that go on, the fan couldn't power itself and died. To prevent that from arcing across coils of wire. So when they do that, that's a short circuit. Now if you've got a broken line, say this was cut in half, that's an open circuit. Everybody makes that mistake. They call everything a short circuit. That's not what it is. Alright, so I'm going to do this in the lap. Maybe tripping over the ground rod here. So I need 3 hands to do this here. I don't want to sit out in the sun either. Let's see. because your wiring goes through right on this side here. Don't tighten your screws all the way, because if you do, you may not get the others in. And this looks like a direct fit. All the holes line up, so it is really hot out here, even in the shade. Don't need to be overly tight, just to retain the motor. So put this all out from itself. Pliers to make sure our connections are good. This is very difficult. I'm doing this left-handed, so trying to hold this fan up. As you can see, that connector's a little bit loose. I don't like that. Well, as you can see, the motor does run. It actually runs quite a bit stronger than the old motor, but we still have a problem. So, let me turn this off. She doesn't want to start on her own. So I got looking at the start capacitor, and look at that. You see how bulged that top is and how the terminals are going sideways? So I think we've got a compound problem here. This Gentech capacitor is only about 15 bucks, and from what I can read with a multimeter, it seems like the resistance is a little bit high. So I think we're just going to go ahead and order that and see if we can get it fixed, and we'll just leave this unit turned off and apart. One other thing to note is, look at the fur on this coil. I mean, that is awful. So we're gonna have to clean this, and I've already got coil cleaner, but I want to make dang sure that everything is de-energized before we do that, because we're gonna have to wash that out. There's no possibility of not doing that, because this isn't a coil that generates its own condensate. So this is the condenser, so that's not gonna self-rinse. But with this gravel back here, I think this is going to be something we need to continually maintain, and I should have looked at it sooner, but it is what it is. So I'll show you more here when we get the capacitor. Alright, so we're in the process of cleaning the coil here. I've poured this into a sprayer. You can see already that this is a lot cleaner than it was, and I did get the capacitor replaced. Now I've got to figure out this band here, because this capacitor is so fat compared to the old one. So, show you a side-by-side comparison here. So, minor issue, but it does work. That as soon as I hit that on cool, that fan kicked on. So we're going to continue rinsing this. and see if we can get this cleaned up. So this is mixed with water in a little sprayer, and I was trying to take off the rest of these covers, but they don't want to come undone, so I've just been reaching down through the top and rinsing. Seems to be working okay. I'll cut you back in when we do the final test here. I don't want to blab too much like in some of my previous videos. So, as you can see, I just had this thing explode on me. I guess this fitting wasn't on here tight. Then come off and shot me in the face. So, it's been a fun day. And now I've got some stuff to fix on my Jeep. Apparently I've got low oil pressure now. So, fun never ends. Okay, so what I come up with was I just fabricated a little bracket. So I'm going to put this around this capacitor and then use self-tapping screws and triangle it back in the same holes. So if not, it doesn't really matter because they're self-tapping screws, so they will tap anywhere they want to. And there's nothing behind here to run into. So we've got, you know, several inches. So I'll show you that when it's installed. Alright, so looks like that's got it, and got it back in the same holes even. So far so good. And we're gonna have to put this whole thing back together, which isn't too big of a deal, but can be a little time consuming. And then we'll throw this motor and fan assembly back on and give her a go, see if she'll cool the house down. And I tested the fan and it does turn on. It was already on when I came outside, so instantly when I flipped the switch to cool, it came on, I'm sure. So that's great. So I'll show you when this is back together. Oh, I'm gonna just flip on the breaker here. I've already got the switch set to cool. So let's try it. Oh yeah, look at that thing. So you probably can't see it because of the sample rate on the camera, but this fan is spinning much faster than it did before with the old unit. And so we had two bad things on here. It was a compound problem, so I believe the capacitor fried, and then that took out the fan motor itself. So yeah, so I think we're in business here. Alright, so far so good. I feel cold air coming out of the vent, and we're still blowing out there, so it's probably going to take quite a while to cool the house off because it's about 85 degrees in here. So I think that's a wrap, fellers. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, die. Update. It's 90 degrees in here. Boy, this is too hot for June.